Well, a bit of a treat for us tonight. We're interviewing now what can't be denied is a true Loogootee basketball legend, just named to the 2015 Silver Anniversary Team, Jeff Doyle. Jeff, of course, congratulations from us, but tell me a little bit about what you know about the process of this Silver Anniversary Team, the selection, and basically who told you and your reaction.
Probably the first time I heard about the Silver Anniversary Team was, I believe, Coach Steve Brett made it. And, at that time, I just kind of started looking into it a little bit more. And then about 5 years ago, Coach Butcher told me that when I got when it was my 25th year out, to send him an email, let him know so he could nominate me. So it's a nomination process. So this year came about. So it was late August. I sent Coach an email, and he got the ball rolling. And to back up a little bit, I had talked to Steve Brett, seen him at some functions the last couple of years, and somehow that came up. And Steve is very involved in the process, and he wanted me to make sure that I let him know, and he would try to do all he could to basically promote me. So Coach nominated me. They send you forms that you've got to fill out. John Mullen was a big help for me. He had already contacted USI and got all my stats from them, and he had everything here at Loogootee, which I knew some of my stats, but he had them broken down by year and how many field goals. And I didn't realize I had scored the most points in one season, and just things like that, where you're trying to highlight things that make you separate you from the rest. It's not only an award of what you did in high school, but what you've done after high school. So I put my college stats and any awards, and then of course in college, I was a 2-year starter. I didn't put up big numbers. 8 points a game is what I averaged my junior and senior year, but we had a lot of team success. In my junior year, we made the NCAA tournament. My senior year, we played for the national championship and got beat, so that helped. And then just being in the education system, I had 9 years of coaching, so I highlighted the years at North Davies where we won a regional. We got to the Final Four in Class A, and then just my few years at Bar Eve that we went to a state finals in boys basketball, and then I highlighted the fact that we won a state championship in girls basketball. So it's kind of everything you've done. A lot of it, you had to have a good high school career, but they also look at what you've done outside of high school.
And something else that you have to have is 25 years out of school. So that's hard to believe, but it has been. And as we sit here on a Wednesday evening recording this interview, this Jack Butcher Gymnasium completely empty, Jeff. It's just you and I, and you've had so many nights here to where you were down there in the floor and these seats filled, but it's got to be hard to believe that was 25 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't seem possible, but it's neat. And I guess probably the thing that I don't probably take for granted is just how lucky we were to play at Loogootee. Just that it was such a big part of our lives, and just we had so much support from the fans, and it was such a big deal. And that got to play on some really good teams, and growing up I got to watch a lot of good teams. I looking out there on the floor, and I can remember coming to the ball games when I was younger, and then after the game you'd take the Coke cups and you'd shoot baskets and things like that. And it was just you'd hope that your mom and dad would stick around and talk for a while, because whenever they were ready to go, that's when you had to go home. So it's amazing how much of your life it revolves around the gym. But I just enjoy coming to basketball games, even when when I was at Shoals and we'd be knocked out of the tournament, I would follow the local teams and come to the regional. And so this gym brings back a lot of special memories.
Well, it has to be also particularly rewarding. Take away the basketball, of course, that's the main reason you got this honor, but with social media, the print media, and all the recognition you've gotten in the last 24 to 48 hours, I know it's just got to be overwhelming for you to think 25 years later, all of this still means something to a lot of people.
Absolutely. The Loogootee basketball history, it's a page on Facebook, and it basically just talk Loogootee basketball. And Brian Bruner, he first thing yesterday morning when it came out, he posted the link to the article, and it just kind of started from there. And then just throughout the day, emails from former coaches, just people commenting on Facebook, people that live in Loogootee now, past teammates, people that went to classmates. It was everybody. It was just. I was looking forward to this date. I knew for about 3 weeks, but it was about 5 times as much as what recognition I thought I'd get. So it was really neat that you can think, gosh, 25 years ago, and they still remember me, and they still have good thoughts about you, and can remember the teams you played on, and that's what's so neat. And the thing with Loogootee basketball, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, and I hope nobody takes it that way, is that we had a really good run in 1988 and 1990, but we got beat in the semi-state in the morning game. And with the history of Loogootee, with the the 70s, them making to the state finals, and even in 71 and 72 where they won a game in the semi-state, and just kind of elevated those teams, and just it's kind of like, and I know people didn't forget about us, but it was kind of nice to see that, hey, we had a really good team, and it reminded me that people didn't forget that. They recognized us as a really good team, and the thing with Loogootee, there's just so many good teams out there, and you just hope to be part of that. It was just kind of nice to see my former teammates get some recognition too.
But I know exactly what you mean, because of the foundation that Coach Butcher built, really starting in the 60s, but culminated in the 70s with the runs in the small school and the Cinderellas, I guess. By the time you got to the 90s, all of that success was expected. And I think the 90 team, which was undefeated, was overlooked. But I think today, as you look back, I do think people to really look at 25 years later that this truly was one of the best basketball teams in Loogootee history.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And, here in about another week and a half, they're going to have us up here and honor the team, and I just think that's so neat, and I just appreciate John Mullen and Mr. Mollis getting the ball rolling on that, and just kind of, because I know the fans, they enjoy that. And I just, last year when they had the 1,000-point scorers, just to see all the guys that I grew up hearing about, and I had met most of them and knew them, but it was just really neat to see the recognition. There was a lot of guys that came back, and it's just to see how Loogootee embraces that. I just think that's a neat idea, to bring back teams, just because there's so many people that still live in Loogootee that were fans back then, and they want to see these people. So just very appreciative of everything. And I said it on my Facebook post yesterday, Loogootee fans, there's no other fans like them. And, you hear that, this group has the best fans, or this group, and Loogootee, as far as the support and the following, I mean, they live and breathe it, and it's pretty remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Well, just in case I don't get to talk to you, because I'm sure I'm going to try to talk to a lot of the people on that particular night, and we get to talk to you on occasion, but some who come back, we really don't. I'll ask you now, one memory from that 1990 team that really stands out whenever you think of the 1990 season, or even your high school career. And let's don't go back to any losses. Let's look at successes. Yep. What is it that comes to mind first?
My senior year, our senior night, we played Vincent's Lincoln. We were ranked, I want to say, fourth in the state. Vincent's Lincoln was 13th, 14th in the state. And I remember getting ready at home, getting ready to come to the game, and 2 guys from northern Indiana stopped by the house and heard that we might have 2 tickets to the game that night, just because everybody was fearful that it was going to be a sellout, which I don't think Loogootee ever sells out, because I don't think they ever stop selling tickets. So they're going to let anybody in. But that, for me, I had never seen so many people in this gym, and it was just it was a great atmosphere, and we went out and we won by 10 or 12 points, and just I remember that game so well.
They go to Combs, they work underneath to Thorne. Thorne travels with 12 seconds to go. Thorne got the ball, he travels to Loogootee basketball. Be full court pressure. They're going to go down to Doyle. Doyle go all the way. Slams it home. Slams it home for the 30. Quick down, Combs goes all the way. Puts it up, no good. Loogootee wins, 72-60. Loogootee with a slam dunk, the exclamation point, and Loogootee wins. We'll be back for the wrap-up of tonight's ball game right after this.
And it was just a great way to cap off the season, and actually my last shot here at Loogootee was a dunk. I remember, of course, I was pretty good about cherry picking, and when the game got out of hand, you just kind of stay back a little bit on the offensive end, and they got me with outlet pass and was able to get a dunk as my last shot. And the next day we actually had sectional practice at Washington, and Coach Butcher came up to me, and if you know Coach Butcher, I mean, he's so business-like at practice, and there's not too many lighthearted moments, and he said, well, that's not too bad having a dunk for your last shot. And, so I remember those things, and it's like, gosh, that's 25 years ago.
Yeah, as long as you didn't miss it.
Yeah, no, I didn't miss it.
You talk about never selling out, and I remember Jeff coming to that game, coming to those front doors, and there was a sign that said sold out. That particular night, it said sold out. So the only time I ever saw that, and it was a great night, a great memory for myself, and I know for you and your seniors. And Jeff, we're going to let you go now. I'm sure we'll try to get back with you on Tuesday the 23rd. We want all the fans to come out and recognize this great team, the last undefeated team in Loogootee High School history at this point in 1990. And, of course, the Damon Bailey era. Everybody remembers that. So it was another, you had your 70s for us, and then you had some great years in the 80s, but 1990 and the Damon Bailey years and the Loogootee great year that year, it truly was another golden era in high school basketball. And you don't really think of it maybe at the time, but 25 years later, there's no question about it. And Jeff, we appreciate everything that you've done, not only in basketball, but for the community and for the surrounding communities. We all know your track record, and congratulations once again, and we'll see you up here in a couple of weeks.
Well, thanks a lot, Greg. And just on a personal note, just being from Loogootee and still living around the area, I don't know that you realize how important you are to Loogootee basketball, and just the people who listen to the game. I hear it all the time that a lot of people follow the games, and just to have somebody of your knowledge and the passion for Loogootee basketball, and you don't get that in small towns where you have somebody that's really good at their job, that's talented, and then also has the knowledge of it and also has the passion for it. So I just thank you for everything that you've done for Loogootee.
A little bit of blushing, but Jeff, thank you so much. We appreciate it so much. That's Jeff Doyle, member of the 2015 Silver Anniversary team, and also a member of the 1990 Loogootee High School team that will be recognized on Tuesday, December 23rd when the Lions take on the Hatchets. And, of course, you'll hear all those games upcoming on WRZR Radio Sports.